Have you ever questioned why, despite eating well, exercising, and doing everything correctly, your legs feel weaker? Why does it feel like the steps are becoming steeper? Why does it take a little longer now than it used to get out of a chair? Is it simply aging? Or is there another factor that is subtly hurting you? This is where you might be surprised. It's not always what you're not doing. You're already doing it without even realizing how bad it is. The majority of seniors make a quiet error every day, and they do it with complete assurance, believing they are making the proper decision because they have been told throughout their lives that fruits are healthy, natural, and good. Indeed, most of them are. This is the reality, though, that nobody discusses. Not every fruit is suitable for elderly people. In actuality, some fruits, the ones we consume without question every week, can gradually weaken the legs, cause knee pain, aggravate joint inflammation, and make walking more challenging. Fruits that are promoted as healthful may actually be detrimental to your mobility, balance, and leg strength. The 7 deadliest fruits that any senior over 60 should stay away from are going to be revealed today, especially if you want to shield your legs from long-term harm, pain, and weakening. Despite their seeming innocuousness, none of these fruits are. You'll never again view your fruit dish the same way after you've learned the truth. Therefore, stick with me through to the end if you value your strength and want to maintain stable, strong, and pain-free legs. Your body might be waiting for this wake-up call. But wait a moment before we jump in. Click the subscribe button and enable notifications if you're concerned about your health. It's here that we reveal the truths that nobody discusses. And I want to know whether you're with me right now. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments section. If not, type 0. You don't realize how important your voice is. Let's begin by discussing the first fruit on our list. It is commended for its ability to reduce inflammation. However, it may be having the reverse effect on elders. Let's discuss pineapple. Pineapple, the first fruit and the silent information gatherer, wrote 500 words. Pineapple. The climate is tropical. It's juicy. It's revitalizing. And because of a substance called bromelain, it has been hailed for years as a natural anti-inflammatory. Here's the twist, though, although many people think pineapple reduces inflammation, it may be the quiet cause of weakness for elders. You know, pineapple has strong acids and natural sugars. Furthermore, those sugars are not as harmless as they may appear, particularly if you're older than 60. Let me clarify, our blood vessels get more delicate and sensitive as we age. They no longer respond to sugar increases in the same manner. In spite of its advantages, pineapple gives the blood a powerful dose of natural sugar. How does that work? It raises blood sugar levels quickly. The little blood veins that supply your legs, feet, and muscles may sustain injury as a result of that spike. As circulation deteriorates over time, less oxygen will reach your legs. And you know what that results in? Pain, exhaustion, swelling. After a short stroll, you have that dull, dragging ache in your legs, standing with that stiffness in your knees. Your ankles suddenly hurt, even if you've been sitting all day. There's more. Pineapple is acidic. In addition to being sweet, that acid can cause joint irritation, particularly if you already have inflammation or arthritis. It smolders the burning that already burns in your ankles, hips, and knees like fuel. Some even observe that their legs feel heavy after consuming pineapple, as if the strength were gradually ebbing away. You also need to be aware of something else if you're on any drugs, particularly blood thinners, the well-known enzyme bromelain. Certain drugs may interact with it, becoming either excessively strong or insufficiently powerful. The most hazardous aspect of all, however, is this: there aren't any significant obvious negative effects of pineapple. There are no obvious indications or immediate pain. Now, if the fruit with anti-inflammatory properties, pineapple, can be this bad for aging legs, what about the next one? It is supple. It's delightful. It is well known for boosting your muscle power and potassium levels. However, it could be deceiving you. Let's discuss bananas. The second fruit, bananas, the imposter of muscle. Soft, sweet, and high in potassium. Bananas are a great food. They are said to provide energy, avoid cramps, and benefit muscles. However, the situation is different for elders. Natural sugar and quick-digesting carbohydrates are abundant in bananas. This indicates that immediately after eating, your blood sugar levels rise and your body begins to resist insulin. When that occurs frequently, the flow becomes weaker, inflammation increases, and your legs suffer. As a result, you may experience a dull soreness when walking or climbing stairs, heaviness in your legs after meals, and stiffness in your calves. The story doesn't end there. Additionally, bananas make you retain more fluid, especially if you have heart problems. The third fruit, grapes, little fruit, significant inflammatory effect. Grapes. They appear naive, tiny, juicy, simple to eat as a snack. They also have a stellar reputation, heart-healthy, packed with antioxidants. However, the majority of individuals are unaware of this. Elderly people may have mild leg pain, stiffness, and inflammation when they eat grapes. Why? Because grapes contain fructose, a substance that can be harmful in high concentrations, a sugar that is directly absorbed by the liver and becomes fat and uric acid when your liver is unable to handle it completely. The actual harm begins then, particularly in the toes, ankles, and knees. Uric acid accumulates in the joints. It causes an intermittent burning and swelling ache, that nagging pain that makes even light walking difficult. Have you ever had that piercing pain in your big toe at night? That unexpected stiffness in your calves? It may be something as minor as a handful of grapes causing your uric acid to rise. Furthermore, it doesn't end there. Your body's chronic inflammation is also fueled by fructose. This entails slower movement, increased pressure, and stiffness. Grapes are also far too simple to overindulge. They are small enough to nibble on. They're not hefty. Before you realize it, though, you've consumed 2 or 3 cups. Additionally, the sugar quickly accumulates. Therefore, even while grapes could appear like a nutritious snack, they may subtly weaken, reduce flexibility, and make your legs less comfortable as you age. You now know what can be hidden behind that sweetness. If you've been eating grapes on a regular basis and have been experiencing increasing stiffness and swelling, however, there are other delicious fruits that can be harmful besides grapes. Another is luscious, vibrant, and renowned for its ability to hydrate. Don't be duped, though, on the inside, it functions like sugar, even though it tastes like water. Let's discuss watermelon. The fourth fruit is watermelon, the bogus hydrator. Watermelon, light, revitalizing, a representation of hydration and summer. Is it possible that this watery fruit is subtly damaging your legs? Isn't that odd? Since everyone agrees that watermelon is a good way to stay hydrated, it feels safe, has few calories, and is primarily water. Here's the secret, though, the glycemic index is extremely high for watermelon. This indicates that it quickly raises blood sugar levels, much like candy. Additionally, seniors suffer significant harm from those frequent sugar spikes, particularly to their legs. Let's dissect it. Your body releases insulin when your blood sugar levels rise rapidly. However, Insulin is poorly regulated in aging bodies. Inflammation results from this, particularly in places with inadequate circulation. Where does it appear? Your calves, your ankles, your knees. Leg tiredness may occur immediately after eating. A dull discomfort when taking quick strolls. That weird, persistent swelling around your ankles. Stair climbing begins to resemble ascending a mountain. Watermelon has a light texture. On the inside, though, it acts like a charming trap, gently wearing down your legs. Most people eat a lot of it since it's juicy and refreshing. A single slice becomes 2, then 3. Add more sugar, more stress, increased inflammation. It's misleading, you believe you're drinking water, but your blood sugar is spiking instead. Your circulation is having trouble. Your legs are suffering as a result. Does watermelon actually help seniors stay hydrated? Or does each mouthful subtly increase the discomfort of movement? It could be time to reconsider if the watermelon on your plate is erratic and your legs have been feeling more exhausted lately. Let's move on to a fruit that is associated with vitamin C and health: juices, immunity-boosting drinks, and breakfast all included. Seniors, however, may experience an acidic attack on their joints. Let's discuss oranges. Oranges are the fifth fruit, the attack of acid on joints. Oranges, they're smart, they have a new scent, and they're all over the place: juices, health supplements, and breakfast platters. They are said to increase immunity because of vitamin C. However, oranges may be concealing an unpleasant reality for elders, particularly those over 60. Acid, which your joints dislike, is what's behind that citrus glow. Citrus is abundant in oranges. Even though that might seem normal, it can cause quiet joint irritation, particularly if your body is already battling inflammation, stiffness, or arthritis. When you wake up, you may experience gradual stiffness in your knees, persistent hip pain, that uncomfortable sensation in your legs after prolonged sitting, decreased mobility, and increased swelling. You might assume it's simply aging. However, that healthy practice of drinking orange juice every morning can be contributing to the very pain you're attempting to prevent. This is what actually occurs: orange's citric acid has effects beyond the stomach. You see, oranges may not be harmful to a younger individual. However, the effect develops subtly in an elderly person with aging joints and slower circulation. The most difficult aspect is that you're doing it with the belief that you're benefiting yourself, since oranges have long been associated with wellness. However, you are now aware that they could not be good for your health. Now let's discuss green apples. Green apples, the sixth fruit, are a secret cause of leg pain. They appear crisp, clean, and organic. Additionally, most individuals, especially seniors, believe they are the healthier option because they taste less sweet. It seems like a healthy, low-sugar snack. However, most people are unaware that green apples can subtly cause weariness, stiffness, and leg pain. Two culprits are at work: malic acid and hidden natural sugar. First, malic acid. Green apples get their sour flavor from this acid. While it's fine for younger digestion, aging gut linings grow more sensitive. Once malic acid enters the body, it can irritate tissues, including joints. After eating apples, some elderly people feel severe hip or thigh pain, others notice mild heat in their feet or a tightening in their knees. It happens gradually, acid builds up, and the pain grows more frequent. Second, sugar. Even if they don't taste as sweet as red apples, green apples still contain natural sugars that trigger blood sugar fluctuations in older adults with slower metabolisms. The result can be tired calves, nighttime cramps, morning stiffness, or weakness on stairs. The challenge is that green apples are often eaten raw as snacks, sometimes right before bed, so their effects linger. Though they look wholesome, they may quietly stiffen joints, disrupt sleep, and make walking harder for seniors. What about a tropical, rich, extremely sweet fruit that produces the same issues, one adored by many? Enter the true sugar bomb, the mango. Mango, the seventh fruit, is a sugar explosion for your joints, juicy, soft, candy-like. Nearly everyone loves it, especially in summer. Yet the mango can be the most harmful fruit for older adults with leg joint weakness. Why? Because it holds a hefty dose of natural sugar, a punch sharp enough to spike blood glucose swiftly. If you're active and under 30, your body can usually manage. After 60, metabolism changes, that sugar rush triggers a rapid insulin spike followed by a crash. Each episode stirs inflammation deep within joints, especially in the soft tissues around ankles, hips, and knees. If you also have nerve issues, you may feel burning toes, persistent tingling, evening foot swelling, or creeping heaviness in your legs. Mango's light, fresh taste encourages large portions, worsening the problem. The body doesn't care that it feels light, it reacts to the sugar. Over time, that reaction means joint pain, sluggish walking, and unsteady legs. Natural doesn't always equal safe for diminished circulation and aging joints. You've now seen the full picture. 7 fruits, often praised for health, carry hidden risks for people over 60. The good news? Other fruits deliver the opposite effect, strengthening legs, easing pain, quelling inflammation. Consider these therapeutic. A final word: if you've read this far, you clearly care about your future strength and health. It's not too late to change. Growing older isn't surrender, it's an invitation to grow wiser. Make small, sensible adjustments, one meal, one fruit, one decision at a time. Select foods that strengthen circulation and joints, and you'll soon notice less pain, more flexibility, easier mornings, lighter steps.